Now, before you can go out battling dark wizards or fashioning roller skates on spiders, there's a lot of homework to be done. But I already did it for you. You see, I went through all the defense against the dark arts, spells, and content you would find at Hogwarts as a 5th year student. From here on out, defense against the dark arts will be referred to as DADA. Throw your best dad jokes in the comments. Bonus points if it's a wizard dad joke. I'm going to start with the confirmed spells and beast and baddies that we saw in the gameplay trailer, and then move on to the unconfirmed and ones that I think could possibly be in the game. In the description, there is a list of all content spoken about in this video with their timestamp. Feel free to jump to the ones you want to hear about the most, and hey, while you're down there, tap that sub button and the like button too, so you don't miss part 3 where I'm going to be talking about one of my personal favorites, potions, as this is a series I'm doing for every confirmed class in Hogwarts Legacy. So without further ado, let's talk about DADA. Alright, and we have the Poltergeist. So as we know, Peeves, he's a Poltergeist. Poltergeist, I think they're going to be in the game, but much more for like a jump effect kind of thing. Or just maybe to make fun of you while you're walking in, trying to go to your common room, and you just get mocked the whole way by Poltergeist, and it throws some stuff at you, and you can't do anything about it. So now you're pissed off, you're going to fail your OWLs, and your girlfriend's going to break up with you all because of this one Poltergeist. Next up, we have the Trolls. They're going to come in 4 subspecies. There is the Forest Troll, the Mountain Troll, the River Troll, and the Troll of Nadroj. Ignore that one. That one's not important. But the Forest Troll and the Mountain Troll definitely are, as I think those are the 2 variants we're going to see a lot of in Hogwarts Legacy. Mountain Troll they've already shown in the gameplay trailer, but the Forest Trolls are known to be in the Forbidden Forest. And it is shown here in the wiki that the Knockback Jinx, Flipendo, is a very powerful spell against them to knock them out, knock them off a cliff. Basically, Flipendo just does a lot of force on big objects. And that's what trolls are. They're just big, stupid, angry objects. Troll. Alright, next here we got animated armor. Now this is not necessarily a dark wizard-esque part of Harry Potter, but in the gameplay trailer we were battling these animated armors, and somebody had enchanted them, so we're going to assume it was some dark wizards. So I'm going to say animated armor is going to be included in the DADA video, obviously, because we got to hear animated armor. All right, this is the Inferi. This is straight up confirmed, as confirmed could be. There's literally a scene where we've got a dark wizard and 3 Inferi that he has reanimated with necromancy. Inferi are like almost identical to zombies, but they're a bit more powerful. Now, even in the gameplay trailer, it says that you can use certain abilities and spells that these creatures will be weak to. So you see them using, I want to say, Incendio to burn them. Yeah, I think that was a spell they used. But yeah, they took extra damage and they caught on fire because their skin is so dry that it just burns up and does extra damage. But the Inferi are really cool and really scary, and I hope we have a lot of them to fight in the dungeons and things outside of Hogwarts. Inferi. Or Inferius. Alright, so we have bats or vampire bats. Now really the only dark variant is the vampire bat, but from the gameplay trailer you can't tell if they're bats or vampire bats because it's just a herd of bats that are just flying in a cave. So I'm going to assume that they're the way cooler version, the vampire bat, and we're going to put it in the DADA video. If they end up being normal bats, sorry, I got it wrong. But they'll be in the Magical Beast video as well. Basically, any creature that's small and flies in big groups, you're just going to stupefy the crap out of them and knock them all to the ground, cage them up, and that'll be that. Vampire bat or bat. All right, we've got the red cap here. It's a dwarf goblin thing, and it bludgeons you. They pretty much hang out wherever human blood has been spilt. They love to attack muggles. Typically, they're pretty easy to make run away. The prettier that you make them, the more beautiful that you make them, the more scared and just repulsed they are by you because they just hate being beautiful. In fact, we're going to be able to use, and this potion is not confirmed, but I'm going to hope it is because it'd be a cool mechanic with the red cap. The beautification potion. It is confirmed in the sense of it's available in the 1890s. So lore-wise, we should be able to make a beautification potion. Bonus points if we have a romance system, because we can make ourselves so freaking good looking. We could just run around the school, boyfriends, girlfriends, it friends, just do it. I'll just be beautiful all the time. He definitely needs to be beautiful because that dude be funny looking. Red cap. You know him, you love him. They're zombies. In the Harry Potter world, they were reanimated by a dark sorcerer, very similar to the Inferi. They also share the same weakness, and that's going to be fire spells, like Incendious Zombie. All right, next up here we have the Hag. Now, the hags were said to eat children and raw livers. It was possible that those were false descriptions to defame them because dang, are they ugly. They got warts, they're pale, they're just kind of that woman you just avoid. You don't really want to get caught in a conversation with. Yeah, that's the Hag. Now, I know it's not like a confirmed because it's really hard to tell if they're battling a hag or a dark wizard. A lot of hoods and things in all of the wizards and witches they're fighting in the gameplay trailer. But at some point in there, I did think I saw a hag. And if not, I'm going to say we're very likely going to run into one in Hogsmeade, as part of their habits is going towards town. And they did say there's going to be shops around. And hags actually, even though they only have rudimentary magic, they're the type to like set up shop outside of Hogsmeade and try to sell their wares and eat your children. Hag. All right, next up, we have probably my favorite all-time evil, amortal, non-being, the Dementor. Now, we do see them in a couple of the trailers, the launch trailer, and then you can kind of see them in the gameplay trailer. We all know that the Dementor is this just evil thing that is only out to suck the life and happiness out of you, and it just can't get any better than that. If I want to ruin someone's day, I'm not going to insult them. No. Far better is my idea of ruining their day. I'm going to set a Dementor on them. Because I'm not only ruining today, tomorrow, the day after that, you are ruined. And obviously, if we are going to have Dementors, then we're going to have one of the most ancient spells possible. They're literally from the ancient scribes, is what it says. The Patronus charm. As we know, the Patronus is only castable by someone who is pure of heart. So you have to be able to be a pure, non-murderous Death Eater to cast this. I'm kind of thinking if you're real evil, you can do the Killing Curse. And if you play a very high morality, good morality character, maybe you get to have a Patronus. And depending on what the Patronus is, I mean, I could go on that forever. But I would definitely say Dementor and Patronus confirmed. Patronus not actually confirmed, but if you've got Dementors, you've got the Patronus. They just kind of go together. Dementor. Okay, so last spells video, I do have to admit I kind of added the Killing Curse in the Charms video, and it didn't really go in there because it's supposed to go in this video. So here it is again. Probably the most popular spell in Harry Potter, Avada Kedavra. As we know, this is the Killing Curse. You have to have in your heart the need and the want to kill someone while you cast this spell, and you will kill them. Or a beast, a human. You've got the iconic green light, and then death. Obviously, it's going to be a good time. Just like I said in the last video, I really hope it's not something that's really overpowered that we can just use all the time, because that would just make the game far too easy. I want to be able to use this maybe only in specific circumstances, or only if I've played and been evil enough for long enough that I now am just ultimate power, kill everything, go. Avada Kedavra. Alright, next spell that we have that's confirmed. And this is not confirmed trailer confirmed. This is confirmed via the wiki. Apparently the wiki has stated that this is going to be a spell, so I've included it. If this one is not actually in the game when it comes out, blame the wiki. Let me know in the comments if it's not really in the game when it comes out. We'll update the pinned comment, let people know. Deprimo spell is going to be used to shatter the floor or blast holes in the ground. I could definitely see this in the game, because why not come up on an area that looks like you could break it and just blast a hole there? Why not? We're on next-gen consoles, super high-end PCs. That's just more chaos, more fun as far as I'm concerned. Deprimo. Next in the lineup, we have the Boggart. Now this sucker is interesting because it's not really confirmed, but also at the same time, you cannot really unconfirm it because we have no freaking idea what it looks like. It takes on whatever the nearest person or observer's worst fear is. So literally at any point in the gameplay trailer, we could have been seeing a Boggart and we had no idea. So I'm putting it in as confirmed. If I'm wrong and there's no Boggarts in this game, I'll eat my Gryffindor socks. I will get on camera and eat my socks. I 100% think they're going to be putting Boggarts in the game, and I definitely don't want to eat my own socks. Also, these are amortal beings, so they were never alive nor dead, which I think is pretty sweet. They have no real shape because they just kind of turn into whatever the worst fear is. And obviously, like we all know from the movie Ridiculous, that spell is going to be the one you use to clear your head of the fear and make it all funny and scare the Boggart away. Because you can't really kill it. It's not alive at all. Boggart. Protego, or the shield charm. We saw this in the trailer. Character shielded himself. Some spells bounced off of it. Real simple. Protego. Disclaimer. I am now going to be starting the unconfirmed spells and unconfirmed dark beast and creatures. These may or may not be in the game. You have been disclaimed. Starting off for the unconfirmed spells, we have the incantation Aqua Eructo. It's going to be a nice ice blue look, and it sends out a jet of water. So of course this is going to extinguish those fiery dark creatures. Say you get attacked by a fiery salamander, then you can cool it off with this spell. Very cool. I think that they could also use this for puzzles. Say maybe there's a torch in the distance or a lantern that we put out, and then, Ocarina of Time style, the door opens. Something like that. Aqua Eructo. Next up here, we've got the Banshee. They've got an appearance of a woman. She's got floor-length black, beautiful hair. Her features are fantastic. She has a skeletal face, green skin, and her scream is fatal if you hear it. So you're going to need earmuffs for these. But something else that we got to have up our sleeve, and I really hope that we're going to be able to do this, is create a laughing potion. The laughing potion basically is going to annoy them so much from your laughing and hysterical laughing that they're just going to go away. Seize and Pull Charm, or Carpe Retractum. It's a charm that makes a magical cord of light that pulls an object towards the caster, or if the target was fixed in place, it's going to pull the caster towards the target. Now, in the gameplay trailer, we see Accio doing this, and you can very clearly hear the player character saying Accio, and it literally doing this several times. So I don't think this is going to be in the game. I think they're just going to have Accio do what this spell would do, but maybe. Carpe Retractum. The next spell we're going to be covering is Cavea Inimicum. Cavea Inimicum. Cavea Inimicum. Okay, well, one of those is right. So this incantation is going to make a protective boundary around you where you are out of view. Now, we know that the Disillusionment charm is in the game because we already saw it. Not sure about this one. Maybe. Possibly. I could see this being like the next version where we get to conceal ourselves and a companion that we have with us. That would be pretty cool. Cavea Inimicum. Cavea Inimicum. I will say that right, maybe. We do have the charm skeleton here. They're very similar to the Inferi and the zombie, except it's just a skeleton. They are going to be reanimated with necromancy. But there is a very big difference because their weakness is not fire. Their weakness is the tickling charm. Recta Sempra. Charm skeleton. Alright, so we have a very naughty spell here. This is going to be the Cruciatus Curse, or Crucio, and it is the Torture Curse. Basically, when this is inflicted upon you, you are in physical, excruciating physical pain to the result of even insanity. Like, of course, the Longbottoms, Bellatrix. What a wonderful, wonderful witch. She was so nice to the Longbottoms. But I think this one's going to be very similar to the Killing Curse in the sense of you're going to have to already be kind of evil on that evil spectrum or bad morally to start using it. But I don't think it's going to be nearly as overpowered as Insta-Death. All right, Insta-Death, really overpowered. This one, I could see it doing some CC, or if you're, new to gaming, that's called crowd control. So basically it's going to put an enemy out of the fight for an amount of time. And then because this is also torturing them, it will do some damage to them. Maybe not kill them, but it might put them out of the fight for a long time and, you know, do like half their health worth of damage or something. But it's going to be definitely a strong spell offensively if it is in the game, which I very much hope it is. And I also very much hope that this is one of the ones where you don't have to be fully bad to use, like I would assume the Killing Curse would be, but maybe a little bit chaotic bad, right? Like occasionally I'm going to steal stuff and make the evil choice, but I'm not just evil. I'm chaotic neutral. But if I want to torture you because you've annoyed me the entire game by saying exactly the same thing every time I walked by you, yeah, I want to just be able to do that, okay? Not a big deal. But again, I'm not completely Lord Voldemort evil. I'm like Peter Pettigrew evil. You know? Don't really got the balls to kill you, but I'll put you through the ringer. Cruciatus Curse. Okay, this is going to be the curse of the Bogies. You use this spell, Mucus ad nauseam, and you make the person sick, and they have a runny nose, and they sneeze a lot. Mucus ad nauseam. Here we have the Dugbog. It resembles dead wood, found in the Forbidden Forest, mainly near the swampy areas. Basically, they're going to snap at your ankles, and its favorite food is mandrakes. And we know we're going to have mandrakes, so I feel like we're going to be able to feed them some mandrakes. That'd be pretty sweet. Now, in the wiki, it does say that these are already confirmed in Hogwarts Legacy, but I could find them nowhere. So I'm leaving them right now in unconfirmed, as it didn't reference where they were. It just associated them with it. So I'm really not sure if that means it's confirmed. It being in the Forbidden Forest and being old enough, I'm going to say probably confirmed. But as of right now, we're going to leave it here in the unconfirmed. Dugbogs. Alright, we have the Erkling. These are an elfish magical beast. And they're going to eat your children. They just want to eat all the children. They're a 4x danger, because they're basically going to seduce your children with their beautiful voices that entrances them. They're going to lead them to wherever and eat them. So you better hide your kids, hide your wife, everybody getting eaten. Now, I don't think we're going to run into these, as they're typically in like the Germany, Bavaria area. But we're children, so technically we're a child, we're 15. So maybe we'll see one or two and hear it and be entranced and get eaten. But probably not. Erkling. Alright, this is the Everte Statum charm. And it essentially knocks the opponent back, causes some sharp pain. We did see this in the movie, where Malfoy hit it with Harry. So I think this is pretty safe to assume that we might see this, or maybe not this exact spell, but a spell that does something similar. I'm really hopeful with our spells we get like a tier structure where we can specialize. You know, if I want to take Everte Statum and maybe get more effects to it, where it does more damage, it knocks them back further, that sort of thing. I think that would be a very cool spell system. And it also shows where I can specialize my wizard if I want to do that. So this is kind of one of those spells where if you're going to be a wizard duelist, you're going to want this up your sleeve to knock your opponent back and just cause them some pain. Not anything that's going to kill them. We're not trying to kill, but we do want to beat you in this duel. Everte Statum. All right, we've got Hagrid's favorite beast here, and they are a dark beast, and that is going to be the flesh-eating slug. They're green, pale green. They got black eyes. They're ugly. They secrete this nasty, and they're pretty similar to normal garden slugs, except they just kind of really mess you up if you get their slime on you. One thing about them, they are very tolerant to fire, so using fire spells probably won't do the best for you. Now, probably a really good way to dispose of these is specific repellent for them from Nocturne Alley, but we're probably not going to have Diagon Alley / Nocturne Alley. I hope so, but probably not. So another way that I have concocted together would be to use the Flipendo knockback spell, so they can't get their nasty stuff on you, and then you just fire a bunch of other damaging spells that are not fire spells at them, and destroy them. Success. Flesh-eating slugs. Okay, we have Fumos Duo. This is the incantation for the most powerful smoke screen. This is a extremely useful wizard dueling spell. Let's say I've got my disillusionment charm on, and then for some reason they see me. I now use Fumos Duo, and I am hidden again. And I can go back to my disillusionment charm and run away. Like the coward pacifist I am. The pacifist run will happen. Fumos Duo. Alright, we've got a fan favorite, the Ghost. It's a specter or phantom, and these are the souls of wizards or witches. Fun fact, muggles cannot become ghosts. So if you run into a ghost, it was a witch or a wizard that has unfinished business. No, they do not know anything about the afterlife because they have not really passed to the afterlife, as they have unfinished business and they are restless. Now, there are two spells that you can use to kind of combat them. One is going to be Lumos. Very simple. They're scared of light, so Lumos should do the trick to scare them away. But they also secrete something called ectoplasm, and you can clean it up with the Scourge spell. And the Scourge spell is actually specifically for cleaning up ectoplasm. So maybe ectoplasm is going to be used for something, and we can use Scourge to collect it. Ghost. Alright, next up we have the Ghoul. They're green. They're hideous. They kind of look like an ogre. They're harmless, and they're very stupid. Really, the only thing they're good for is a household pet, because it's going to eat all the bugs in your house. So I guess that's a positive. There's also another type of Ghoul, so I'm going to throw these together, and that's going to be the Chameleon Ghoul. So not only are they all the same, useless and harmless, but somehow it can transfigure itself into an inanimate object, like a chair, bookshelf, just anything random, and it just pops out and becomes a ghoul. Now, if you find one of these and you know it's a Chameleon Ghoul, if we have them in the game, Revealio spell should do the job in revealing it. Maybe the Chameleon Ghoul thinks it's funny, and it's entertained by pretending to be a couch, and you sit on it, and now it's not a couch. Maybe. Ghoul and Chameleon Ghoul. Then we have the Gnome, or Garden Gnome. Now, I kind of found it funny that the common garden gnome is considered dark. Maybe they just fall into that, like, mischievous category. But maybe not. The magic classification is 2x. So maybe they're just a dark, evil creature that's gonna live in your garden and make you have a lot of weeds. So evil. But as you know, you can de-gnome them by grabbing them, spinning them by their feet, and then throwing them out of the garden. You've got to get them dizzy enough they don't walk back to your garden. They're mischievous little punks, and they'll bite you and scratch you and come at you. In fact, there's even been several counts of them when you're de-gnoming. If you don't do it right, they're just going to laugh at you as they run back to your garden. So I personally think it'd be really cool to have to de-gnome occasionally. Let's say we go out to a greenhouse. Maybe we've got to de-gnome once or twice in the game just for the fun. Why not? It's a good time. Have some little mischievous bastard gnomes running around causing some havoc. Gnome. Alright, we've got another one of my favorites here, the Grindylow. These are little water demons. They're native to Great Britain and Ireland. They hang out in lake beds down in the weeds, and they grab you. Now, mer people actually tame these as pets, but they are very, very aggressive to humans. They are going to grab you and then drown you. Now, there is a spell, and that is going to force them to remove their grip. So they're going to try to grab you and then just pull you underwater and drown you. Relatio is going to allow their grip to release and for you to get away. Grindylow. Gytrash. It's a dog-like spirit. They're in the Great Britain area, such as the Forbidden Forest. So I think it's unconfirmed because we haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be confirmed. They're particularly vulnerable to red sparks. So that is going to be the Vermilius spell, as it does shoot out red sparks. And also you could do a more simple spell, the Lumos spell, because they are sensitive to light as well. But they are very vulnerable to red sparks. They are resistant to fire-making spells and also to green sparks. So you want to use the Vermilius spell, not the Verdimilius spell, which is going to be the green spark. And also don't use, any fire against them as well. Gytrash. So this is the Hinkypunk, and I could see this as being a fairly fun dark being to deal with. Basically, it is like a piece of light, blue, green, white smoke, and it just tries to make you go down the wrong path. So let's say we're out in the wetlands around Hogwarts, you know, outside of Hogwarts, and we come across this lantern that's got a little wispy thing, and it's pointing, go this way. It's probably not trying to point you in a safe direction. In fact, it probably is going to try to send you over to where a bunch of like trolls are, or maybe a Yeti, or hopefully a Manticore, something very dangerous, and just to watch you perish. So I think they can do a lot of cool things with the Hinkypunk, you know, especially for people who are not familiar Harry Potter lore about them. And it could be something where they're like, oh, this person or this being has given me a hint that I should look for something over here. But in reality, if you take that hint, you're probably going to die. So I could see some really cool mechanics with the Hinkypunk, and I hope to see them in game. Hinkypunk. We have the human presence spell, Homunum Revelio. And this is going to reveal the presence of humans in the surrounding environment. And Dumbledore could do this. And apparently this was why he could always see Harry and Ron under the invisibility cloak. Kinda cool. Homunum Revelio. Now possibly the most fierce and darkest creature is next. The Iguana. Its blood can be used to brew potions. It is fearless. I recommend you stay far away from these, as they are very scaly creatures. Pun intended. But seriously, the Iguana is apparently a possible dark creature. And realistically, the only reason it's here is because Professor Quirrell taught about it in its first year Defense Against the Dark Arts. So it's a dark creature. This is some ministry approved DADA. I'll tell you that. Iguana. The next really annoying creature is going to be the Imp. They love slapstick humor. And because of that, they are very delighted in tripping, pushing, and just grabbing anyone they can. Also, they're going to take wizard crackers and throw them at you. And then laugh at your torment. But don't worry, they're going to also treat all the other imps the same way. They're very, very, very strong for their size. And they have a similar height to pixies, but they're a little bit more intelligent. Also, same thing here. Stupefy is going to stop them enough where you can cage them. Put them in a bottomless hole. It's one of my favorites. Imp. We've got another naughty one. That is going to be the Imperius Curse, or Imperio. And when casted successfully, it is going to put the victim at the will of the caster's control. So you are now a puppet for the person that casts this on you. I do expect this to be in the game, but I don't expect it to be as strong as we may think. So when you cast it on someone, maybe they'll fight with you for a short period of time, something like that. But I don't think it would be like a permanent, go do this, go do that, because that would just be way too complicated for game mechanics. So simplifying it, use the Imperius Curse. Maybe there's extra dialogue even, or have a shopkeeper give you the item. That would be really cool. See, the cool thing about this game is it's a single player game. So if I get strong enough in the world, I could just break the game and it's whatever, because it's a single player game. If I want to walk around and put the Imperius Curse on everyone, I really hope Avalanche is going to let me do that, because that sounds so fun. Go to Hogsmeade to get some more potions or whatever. I'm like, I'm not paying for this. I mean, I've got thousands of galleons. I've spent 300 hours in this game. Okay. Probably 500, but who's keeping time? I've got just thousands of galleons. I could buy this stuff. It wouldn't cost me anything. But I'm just going to use the Imperius Curse anyways, and you're just going to give it to me. Because I'm an evil, terrible wizard, and this is just what I do. This is how I'm playing the game. Okay? So I'm really hopeful that we're going to be able to do fun sandbox single-player stuff like the Imperius Curse on merchants and things. Imperius Curse. Alright, this is a Kappa. They are a 4X dangerous classification, so they are a bit dangerous. And that's because they are the Japanese water demon. Fun fact, they're going to feed on the blood of humans. And they're going to strangle you and attack you if you come into their very shallow pond or river, because they are strong. They're going to hold you down. Now, there is a trick to getting them to like you. You're going to inscribe your name on a cucumber and throw it at it. And if the Kappa takes your offering, it will be appeased and it won't attack you. Another way that you can dispose of this evil beast is if you get it to bow, because the water will pour out of its head and weaken it. Now, I don't think we're going to run into these as these are from Japan, but maybe we do. Kappa. Lacarnam Inflamari. This incantation was used to ignite cloaks or other items on individuals. That's it. That's what it does. So I could see this being, possibly an opener. You're fighting a dark wizard. You light their outfit on fire first thing and then start shooting more spells at them. Make quick work of them. We may not see this specific spell because this could be one of those things where they could add a talent or make another spell stronger and just do this effect. So, for example, maybe Incendio, make that stronger and it will also catch flame to individuals in cloth armor or something. So this spell could be redundant. If they just throw a bunch of different spells at us, maybe. If they just give us a good amount of spells and then we can make those spells a little different as we master them or put points into them, however that's going to work. I really think this is going to be kind of redundant and we won't see this specific one, but maybe. Lacarnam Inflamari. We have one of the baddest, most dangerous creatures. In fact, the magic classifies it as a 5x for danger. That is the most dangerous. It is the Manticore with the head of a human, the body of a lion, and the tail of a scorpion. But it gets better. You see that scorpion tail? Instantly kills anything it stings. And, if you felt like it was already scary enough, a Manticore skin repels all known charm spells. So it is extremely difficult to kill this thing with magic or even subdue it. Also, on top of that, it is capable of human speech. And after it slaughters you, it sings softly to you as it devours your lifeless corpse. Doesn't get any better. In fact, I'm a little disappointed we may not see these as they're from Greece. So maybe we'll get to see them. This is another one of those where I'm like, hey, Avalanche, throw this in the game. I want to experience dying to this creature. Please. I would love also possibly defeating it. And if you're going to let us fight it, make it really hard. Not like Souls-like hard where I'm going to die like 20 times, but make it difficult enough where I actually feel pretty good and a little scared during the fight and post-fight. Manticore. Next one's going to be Cornish Pixies, but it is definitely monster time. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright. Back to Cornish Pixies. Cornish Pixies are blue. They're annoying as all hell. They're very strong for their size. And they a lot of times roll in groups. Stupefy stops them in their tracks. So you can cage them, take them away. Yeah, enough said. Pixies. Salvio Hexia. It's an incantation, makes a protective enchantment, which deflects hexes. I think we could almost definitely see this in Wizard Dueling. Maybe if you go for a defensive build, and you make this really strong to also include curses. So they can't shoot curses or hexes at you, then all you've got to do is defend against charms. That kind of thing. I could see this incorporated, definitely. Especially if we have like a dueling tournament that we can do as maybe like a side quest or part of the main quest, which I would love. Salvio Hexia. So there are a few versions of snakes. There's only two that I think we're going to be running into. Could be more, but I'm just going to talk about the two I think we may run into. That's going to be the Ashwinder. Now this one is really cool. So it's actually born from magical fire that was left to burn unchecked. So magical fire will happen, and then there will be an Ashwinder left over. And they only live for 4 hours. So within 4 hours, they have laid eggs and then collapsed into dust. So I do think that it's totally plausible that we run into Ashwinder. Since there's no actual location for them, they're just wherever magical fire is left to burn at. So I definitely think we're going to see those. And now the other type, I am just going to say it. I really hope we get to see and deal with a Basilisk. I'm hopeful that we get to see a Basilisk, as we already know that there's at least one there. So why not be two? Snakes. The tongue-tying curse, or Mimble Wimble. It's going to tie the tongue of the person you cast it on. Very simple, but effective. Mimble Wimble. Okay, we got a crowd favorite, the Vampire. They're human, they suck blood, and they actually are mortal. They're also nocturnal, like we know, and they have an allergy to garlic. Basically, I think that if we run into some vampires, maybe we can have some garlic to defend ourselves with. Or grow some sort of garlicky plant with herbology. That'd be cool. Vampire. And if you like vampires, you probably also like werewolves. So the next one is going to be the werewolf. Now, werewolves have particularly good lore in Harry Potter. Basically, they are humans and can only become a werewolf if they are bitten by a werewolf on a full moon, which is very, very possible because the only time you become a werewolf is during a full moon. If you're bitten by a werewolf, you have to quickly make a powdered mixture of silver and dittany and apply that to the fresh werewolf bite, or you're just going to die. You're gonna just die. But if you apply that, then you can live your life as a werewolf where you are a human until the full moon, then you're gonna become a werewolf. Do some regrettable stuff, but let's be honest, Lupin is one of the most beloved characters, so I'm all about being a werewolf. Now, Wolfsbane was not invented at this time period. It wasn't invented until the 1970s. So seeing as how we don't have Wolfsbane potion and we can't really control becoming a werewolf, I don't think we're going to be able to turn into a werewolf. It would be cool, and I would love to do a werewolf playthrough. So if we can, be on the lookout for a werewolf playthrough. But we don't have the Wolfsbane, so probably not going to be able to turn into one. Do I think we're going to run into some? Oh yeah. And these are classified as 5Xs from the Ministry, so they are very, very dangerous, and they are worldwide. Werewolf. Probably one that I've always have enjoyment reading about in the Muggle world, and that's going to be the Yeti, or the Abominable Snowman, or Bigfoot. They exist, even outside of the wizarding world. But we're talking about the Yeti today. They like to eat humans. They fear fire. They are big, slightly intelligent, but pretty much stupid. And they're a bit of a problem, but not for us because they're in Tibet. So I saw a really good theory about how maybe some of these beasts or creatures may only come around at certain points in the season. So I feel like maybe when we reach Christmas time or winter, we come upon a Yeti. That would be awesome. It's in Tibet normally, that's where they're from. But what the heck? Why not? Why not? Put it in the game. Yeti. And that concludes the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please leave a like. These videos take hours to make, so I would really appreciate the like if you liked it. Sub if you want to. Still on that 1K grind. And hope you enjoyed. I'm going to rest my voice now. Goodbye. More content soon.